Hey y'all, in this lesson, we're going to practice building a sample space with a tree diagram and then using that to find probability. You might remember from some of my previous lessons, a sample space is a list of all possible outcomes for a specific event. And sometimes this can get a little convoluted if there's a lot of different types of combinations or subsets of a set. So constructing a tree diagram can help us organize that. It's part of a counting principle called systematic listing, which we've actually already kind of looked at when we were building sets or talking about sets. So let's build a sample space using a tree diagram for each of these events. Julie wants to have children and desires to know the sample space for both events, which is the likelihood of, given that, the likelihood of having a boy and girl are equally likely, so 50-50. So if she has two children, she wants to know what are the possibilities. Now, with two children, you could probably just list out those possibilities given that the order matters because you're going to have a first child and a second child. So for the first child, we're going to build a tree diagram. For the first child, her options are boy or girl. Then for the second child, again, options are boy or girl, boy or girl. And then this is going to build out our sample space. She can have a boy and a boy and a girl, or a girl then a boy, or a girl then a girl. So you can see this one, since there's only 4 subsets, we could have easily probably listed those and we could have got them all, it would have been fine. But that tree diagram just kind of helps line it out a little bit better. And then a little life hack you can do if you're having trouble following the tree diagram, you might start at the end and follow it to the beginning. Just make sure that you write it in order, because the order does matter on this, because there's a very clear first child, second child. So she can have 2 boys, boy, girl, girl, boy, 2 girls. Those are the only options. And then for 3 children, it's going to be the same process, but we're going to have 3 branches here to represent that third child. So go ahead and build out your tree diagram and list out your sample space. Pause it, do that, come back. So your tree diagram and subset should look like this. Boy, 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 girl, girl, boy. It's a tongue twister. So if you want to pause it and just check and make sure you got all of those, you can do that. And remember that if you do start with the last branch of the tree diagram, that you write that letter last, because it matters. So 3 boys, 2 boys and a girl, and you're just following each of those. So tree diagram is just one method to build out sets. You could obviously just list these if you want to, but I just wanted to show you that so that you have another tool in your tool belt. And we're going to use that to find these probabilities below. So in the left side, it says the probability of exactly 2 girls. So exactly 2 girls means 2 girls, no more, no less. So let's look up here. We're using this sample space. If she has 2 children, what's the probability that she would have exactly 2 girls? That's only one of the 4 outcomes. And then find the probability, given that she has 2 children, find the probability that she has 1 boy and 1 girl. Now that represents 2 of the outcomes. It didn't necessarily say that she wants to have a boy first. It just said 1 boy, 1 girl. So 1 of each. That represents 2 of the 4 outcomes, which reduces to a half. So she has a higher chance of having a boy and a girl than she does having exactly 2 girls. So I want you to use that to help you answer these problems over here on the right using this sample space, 3 children. Okay, on each of these, you should have gotten 3/8. Remember, on the first one, it says exactly 2 girls. So no more, no less. And that will be a 3/8 probability of 3/8. I went ahead and converted it to decimal because it's going to help us in the next question. Next question, it says, in which case is she more likely to get or have exactly 2 daughters? So if we look at the case of 2 children, and we look at the case of 3 children, which one gives her the higher probability? The higher probability is when she has 3 kids. So if she has 3 kids, she has more kids, she has a higher likelihood of having exactly 2 girls. So, the last part of this video, we're actually going to look at odds, which ties directly into probability. So that's why I'm kind of tacking that on here. I know I said we're just going to do a tree diagram, but surprise. So odds compare the number of favorable outcomes to the number of unfavorable outcomes. And we can convert between probability and odds with these formulas here. These formulas make it seem a little complicated, but it's kind of like using the idea of a complement. So if we think back to sets, we're using complements. So in this example down here, it says, if there's a 40% chance of rain tomorrow, what are the odds in favor of it raining tomorrow? So in favor of. If we use to talk about in favor of, if we use this first bullet point right here, if the probability of an event is A over B, then finding the odds in favor of this event are A to B minus A. So you're probably thinking, where are all these letters coming from? But bear with me, it's not so bad. So we do know that there's a 40% chance of rain tomorrow. So in favor of rain, which means that the probability of rain is 40%. Sorry, let me back up. 40%, which if we convert that to a fraction, that's 40 over 100. And then reduce. We can go a little bit at a time over, okay, divide by 2. So the probability of it raining is 2/5. So I have found this right here, where A is 2 and B is 5, 2/5. That's just a reduced form or simplified form of 40% in fraction. And then this next part says the odds in favor of the event, so rain, are A. So odds are A, which is 2, to B minus A, which is 5 minus 2. And then we simplify 2 to 3. So the odds in favor of rain tomorrow are 2 to 3. And then the next part of the question says odds against rain. Then you just take that in favor and switch it 3 to 2. So when it's once against, then you're starting with the other side where the chances that it's not going to rain. Okay, that's all I have for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. See you in the next one.